Tonight, DIY rescue and all new CSI. Then it's twice the sting on the 2003 series final of Stingers. This is Channel 9's Tuesday.
This program proudly brought to you by the Australian Women's Weekly, where you could win a $50,000 backyard makeover designed by Jamie Jury.
This is 9 Gold Coast News with Rob Readings.
The big storm cleanup continues as insurance claims pour in. 2 men bailed after a huge Southport drug bust. Latest gadgets for mobile phone fans and a race against the clock for super cheap racing team. Good evening. The clean-up continued today at thousands of homes pounded by Sunday afternoon's hailstorm. SES officers are working around the clock but still have about 500 jobs outstanding. Their task has been slowed because many of the roofs being worked on are made of toxic asbestos.
These are the golf ball size hailstones that destroyed Ian Gordon's roof.
Now there's like bullet holes in it everywhere.
Because it's made of asbestos, a material that's highly toxic when broken up, covering the roof is a mammoth task.
We're not allowed to get on the roof because it's asbestos, so we have to use a cherry picker and ropes and haul it over the top of the roof.
It's a similar story across most storm-affected suburbs, adding hours to SES response times.
It does slow us down because we've got to take these safety precautions. Any other time we would have leaned up a ladder against the roof and climbed straight over it. We've got to wait, get the cherry picker over, but I mean, we're getting there.
So far, more than 700 calls have been logged. Despite the SES's best efforts to respond to them quickly, there's still 500 outstanding. Now, extra reinforcements are on their way.
We've decided that we'll call in the Defence Forces to see if they can be of assistance.
At the Tugun Community Centre, a one-stop recovery support centre has been set up to help victims.
Emergency payments that they might be eligible for. They can contact community and government agencies, and they can generally just try and get back to a bit of a sense of normality about their lives.
As if the storm hasn't caused people enough stress, now a con man posing as a roofer is preying on residents, offering to inspect their homes for $100 cash. Legitimate roofing contractors are urging residents to check for identification before allowing anyone onto their property, while the SES is pleading for everyone to be patient.
Looking at the weather, I'd say we have a strong possibility of rain. That might just slow us a little bit but not stop us. Mazoe Ford, 9 Gold Coast News.
2 men have appeared in court after a major drug bust at Southport. A large crop of mature marijuana plants was found hidden inside a Smash Repairs workshop.
The size of the crop took police by surprise when it was found during a raid late yesterday.
James Kelly, 9 Gold Coast News.
And coming up next, the Vietnam vets using exercise to get rid of personal demons. The giant jigsaw puzzle helping Q1 reach for the sky.
Tonight on National 9 News.
The Defence Forces called on to assist Gold Coast storm victims. Our Solomon's peacekeepers home for Christmas. One man stand against the ambulance levy.
Then on a current affair.
The baby food promotion that's delivered disappointment to 60,000 families. Plus the greatest perk and lurk in the country. You should be as lucky as the politicians.
Queensland's leading hour of news and current affairs from 6 o'clock on 9.
Welcome back. Q1, the building that will soon dominate the Surfers Paradise skyline, is starting to take shape. Building the world's tallest apartment block is a mammoth task that will keep the construction workers busy for another year and a half.
Even now, at less than a quarter of its eventual height, 80 stories, Q1 is an impressive building. A small army of construction workers is now in full march, following a self-climbing formwork system that moves itself up one level every 4 days.
The form systems are poured with concrete. The next day the formwork is opened and climbs on the needles here with a hydraulic pump. It climbs up one floor.
On a building this size, just pouring the 60,000 cubic metres of concrete is an achievement in itself. The pressure needed to pump it up to the final floors will cause problems.
concrete segregates. The water and the sand and cement and aggregate start to separate, so you get clumping of stone and sand and water in different areas.
So the concrete mix will change as the building grows to a carefully developed formula. A significant milestone looms in 10 weeks' time. The first apartments will be finished. The windows are already on, the beginnings of a giant jigsaw. Each panel of the 35,000 square metres of glass to be installed is designed to fit a specific window. And at the end of it all, there's the delicate act of retrieving 2 giant cranes from the 80th floor.
One of the cranes is dismantled by the other crane. That crane lifts up another smaller crane, which dismantles the second internal climber. And that lifts up another smaller crane, which dismantles the other one. And that last crane is dismantled into smaller pieces and taken down the stairs and the goods lift.
Matthew Clark, 9 Gold Coast News.
34 years ago, Neil Campbell was an instructor in Vietnam. He remembers the young men who died, the horror, and coming home. Then, like so many other vets, he lost his way as he battled his demons. At Bond University, he's fighting back. They are volunteers on parade for this program, happy to take their orders from...
On a current affair, the baby food promotion that's failed to deliver.
Yeah, it certainly got me to buy their products.
Leaving families angry and disappointed.
They're putting so many people offside.
Plus, the greatest lurk in the country.
It's theft from the public purse.
Polly's lining their pockets with your money.
No one else set them up. They set themselves up for it.
And meet the good, the bad and the ugly.
I find the most controversial people I can.
A current affair after the news.
Gold Coast weather, brought to you by the Gold Coast 90.9 CFM. Play CFM's Chicken tomorrow and you could win $10,000 cash instantly.
Good evening, everyone. A warm one today. A few showers expected tonight and a possible storm building in the hinterland. Tops of 25 degrees for Coolangatta and Burleigh Heads. 28 for Nerang and Southport Coomera reached 27 degrees. At the moment, 22 degrees. Northerly winds at 14 knots. To the chart, a ridge over the northern Coral Sea and a trough is expected to weaken as it moves slowly east. Grey skies on Coast Cam looking north over the Nerang River, those low clouds producing just a few showers tonight. Once again, head north for a wave tomorrow. Try the Spit up to South Stratty and you could also try the back beaches of the Tweed. The board riders paddled out at Mermaid Beach this morning with 1/2 metre of swell on offer and the northerly winds up early. The best spots were the protected northern beach breaks. Surfers can expect similar conditions tomorrow. The closer reefs and rivers will be worth a visit tomorrow. Try the Tweed River and Kira Reef, 8 metres the visibility. A strong wind warning offshore with northwest to northerly winds increasing 25 to 30 knots before a westerly change, the seas rising to 3 metres. The high tide tomorrow, 11 in the morning, low tide around 4 a.m. The temperatures set to rise tomorrow with more hot weather expected. Fresh and gusty northeast to northwesterly winds, a high fire danger, 19 to 30 degrees. A brief change, cooling things down Thursday, warm with afternoon storms expected Friday, clear skies forecast Saturday. The Hinds Dam capacity 45.19%, yesterday's consumption 157.18 million litres. Well, those predicted big seas failed to materialise this morning. Sea Probe lived up to its name. The boys headed out wide to the 50s and caught a big haul of quality fish, coming home with mowong, snapper, kingfish, pearl perch and a couple of pigfish. There are plenty of pearlies being taken on all the reefs at the moment. The closer reefs off Jumpin' Pin are producing tailor, flathead and squire, and whiting are being caught in the gutters off South Stratty, just inside Jumpin' Pin, the Nerang River near the Council Chambers and the Currumbin Creek entrance. So plenty of fish on the bite at the moment.
Thank you, Nat. As we saw yesterday, hundreds of wild animals were killed or injured in the hailstorm, and our Currumbin Sanctuary is calling for carers.
With all the devastation caused to homes and cars from the storm, it's easy to forget Mother Nature's fury can also destroy nature itself. Mazoe Ford, 9 Gold Coast News.
That is Gold Coast News to this moment.
Please join us again at 5:30 tomorrow. Bruce and Jillian along next with National 9 News.
From the team, good night.
Good night.
with Bruce Paige and Jilliian Whiting. This is National 9 News, Queensland.
Homes unroofed by the Gold Coast storm face a new worry: asbestos.
Most Aussie troops in the Solomons to be home for Christmas.
Soren the hunter becomes the hunted. Good evening.
Good evening.
Another shock today for some of the Gold Coast homeowners who lost their roofs in Sunday's violent storm. They've been told it could be months before their houses are repaired. The problem is old and deadly asbestos. Hundreds of others are still waiting for emergency aid. The city has called on the military for help.
More than 48 hours after the first hailstones started cutting a swathe through the southern Gold Coast, homes were still being covered.
Tunic has already photographed nudes en masse in other cities around the world, including Melbourne.
Cheeky lot. Sport now with Wally. More controversy in the World Cup.
Yes, Bruce. 2 Pumas have been cited for eye gouging. The rugby's next. And the Queensland apprentice looking for Melbourne Cup glory.
Coming up, the baby food